Hi, I'm Demetria. I'm a podcast coach and I help women entrepreneurs to launch and create your heart-aligned business. I'm going to be talking about some things I've been reading in this book called Business Boutique, and I'm going to be sharing about how to push past your business fears and get started and get moving on your entrepreneurial dreams and ambitions. So if you believe that this video is going to be encouraging to you, then stay tuned. So lately I've been reading more books. One of my goals in 2023 is to read 3 books a month. And so I want 1 book about business, 1 about health, and then just 1 really fun book. And that could be faith, it could be fun, it could be fiction, it could be anything. So this time I'm reading a book called Business Boutique, and I shared this on my Instagram, so check out my Instagram. And one of the things that I'm reading about in the first couple of chapters is about getting past your fears of business. So I'm gonna share with you some tips that I think can help you in starting your online business. So my first tip for you is really just to encourage you that whatever it is you're trying to do with your business, with your idea, that the world needs you. I know it's easy to think that you are one of a million people that's offering that product and service idea that you have in mind. And if you start looking around, you are most definitely going to start getting discouraged, because there will always seem to be someone who's further ahead than you, who's already been doing it for many more years than you have been doing that thing. And so it's easy to become discouraged. But in business, you really have to have a steady mindset that you're going to keep going no matter what. And that what you offer is different and unique than your competitors. And so when you stop looking at people and other businesses as your competitors and you just focus on what you bring to the table, things will get much easier for you. Because when you stay in your lane, it's just easy to just be yourself, as opposed to looking around to see what everyone else is doing and then trying to copy what they're doing, or trying to beat out or compete with or one up what someone else is doing. Just be yourself, because what you bring to the table is so unique and so different and so valuable. The world really does need what you have to offer. Another tip that Christy Wright brings up in her book is that failure is good. Now, I've heard a lot of business coaches say this, and over the years, it took me a long time to embrace the idea of failure being a good thing. Like, who wants to be failing at what you do, right? You're working hard so you can be successful, not a failure. But in that concept of failure is good doesn't mean that you're a failure. It just means that the more you practice doing things, the better you get. So the first couple of times you try something brand new, you might flop at it. So you might consider that a failure, but it's not really failing unless you just stop. So keep trying and you'll get better and you'll get better and you'll get better. And with time, you're gonna be so good at it, you'll be able to teach other people how to do it. So don't give up because your first couple of tries were flops. So for me, I have tried a lot of different things over the years in business. I've tried my hands at a lot of different things with whatever I'm doing in my home with my family, and I failed at things at home. For example, recipes. I have flopped at a lot of recipes. I've flopped, who hasn't, right? I flopped at, learning how to keep and manage my home properly when I was first married and first had children. I didn't know a lot of things. So we're always learning. And then within the context of career and business, there's a lot of things that I'm just not good at, and I flopped at things. But then there are certain things that I decided, you know what, I want to get good at this, because I can really see myself doing this one day in the future, and I need to get good at this particular skill. So I would work at these skills and I would keep trying and keep trying and keep trying. I introduced myself as a podcast coach, right? But my first couple of podcasts were a disaster. I used whatever tools I had available to me, which wasn't very much. I had a really, really old computer that had this humming noise in the background that got into the audios. I was using a headset mic, with the little microphone that comes across your face like this, and I'm talking directly into it, so you can imagine the poor, horrible audio quality that was and the experience it was for my listeners. But that's what I did when I first got started with podcasting. And I didn't know how to really present myself. I didn't know much about public speaking. So I stuttered a lot, and I said a lot of ums and uhs, and I paused, and I stumbled over words. And so that meant I had to go back and learn how to edit. And I wasn't a good editor when I first got started with podcasting. And I'm talking years and years of experience at this point, where now I can finally say that I'm a lot better. And we're talking 15 years of experience, and I'm still getting better. So I haven't arrived. And so when I first started editing, I would forget to edit certain things out, and it would embarrassingly be in my final audio that I would release to my listeners. But you know what? People just ran with it. They listened, they didn't say anything. And you know, it was what it was. So I had lots of mistakes in my audios, also my videos. I started my YouTube channel back in 2010 or 2011, but I didn't really start vlogging consistently until 2012. And when I first started my channel, these videos were rough. And so I don't recommend you go back and look at some of those videos that I first started with. They are still on this channel. I didn't delete them or take them down, but they are rough. And so you have to start somewhere, and you're going to fail and you're going to flop, and it's okay. It's part of the process of growth. Christy Wright mentions imposter syndrome. Now that is a big issue with most of the women entrepreneurs that I've talked to. And it's the feeling of, what do I have to bring to the table that somebody else isn't already doing better than me, right? And it's also the idea that I'm gonna be found out, that I'm really not who I say I am. I really can't do what I say I can do. They're gonna find me out. And so that's part of imposter syndrome that a lot of us go through. We'll hear things like, somebody else is already doing it better, or you're just not good enough. And you'll hear those thoughts in your mind, and you'll wonder, is that right? Should I just stop and give up? Because why would I try to do something that's already being done? And how much competition is there out there anyway, that I have to work extra hard just to get noticed, just to be seen, just to be accepted in this space? Sometimes imposter syndrome comes in the form of us thinking that we're inexperienced, that we don't have enough experience to get out there and do what we say we want to do. But you know what? You don't get experience until you start. So you have to get out there and start working and doing the thing that you say you want to do. So if you want to be a writing coach or a writing consultant, you want to write for your clients or help them to write content for their blogs, you need to get out there, write your own content, do the best you can with writing your content, and then create those coaching packages, create those services, and start offering your service. Start working for people. Maybe you discount your service in the beginning just so that you can get a couple of testimonials and get your feet wet, but you get started that way. And then those first couple of times that you work with people, that you write for them, you are going to start getting experience from that, and it's going to teach you what to do next and what not to do next time. So it's part of the teaching process, whatever it is you're doing. So if you're a life coach, you need to practice helping someone get through something that they're going through in their life. So you need to start creating those coaching sessions and offering them. On my podcast, I've been talking to writing coaches, I've been talking to health coaches. These are women who are entrepreneurs, not because they felt like they were better than other people who are also doing the same thing. It's because they had something they wanted to share. And even though they're starting at zero subscribers, 0 clients, 0 customers, they went out there and said, I'm gonna offer my service and I need practice. So I'm gonna get my feet wet. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to start getting things rolling and get the practice that I need. Remember, there's no such thing as ready. You're never going to be ready, so jump right in. And lastly, I like the concept of do it afraid, because there's a lot of things I'm scared to do right now. Like now, I'm scared to do some things that I know I have to do this year. And it's exhilarating, it's exciting, but it's scary. right? And I've never done some of the things that I'm about to start doing. So I want to share with you that as I'm doing what I'm doing, afraid, you can do it afraid too. Do it afraid, because it's the only way to do it, right? I mean, if you don't do it afraid and you're feeling the fear, then you just won't do it. So you have to do it afraid. I like what Christy says here. If you launch that blog, everyone will make fun of you behind your back. If you put that price on your product, everyone will think you're greedy. If you start that business, no one will buy your service. If you post that update, no one is going to like it and you'll look like a fool. And on and on. The best way to make those voices shut up is to just do it. And that is what I wanted to share with you from chapter 1 of Business Boutique. So I'll leave a link to this book below in the description. And I hope that I've encouraged you to get out there, follow your dreams this year, get started. If you haven't already, roll up those sleeves, get started. It's time to start working on the things that you have been called to do in life. That's all I have for you today, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.